do is jive. 220 on the highway. I'm about the energy. Baby, if it's good, send it my way. If it's bad, keep it private. All these haters so vexed, I'm the best alive. You don't want to test the guy. You been sleeping on yourselves, you test it fly. Throw myself a party, then act surprised. Be the highest in the room when the guests arrive, yeah. Ain't nobody realer. Touchdown, got a couple G's for the dealer. Gang signs out the window, my killer. Life getting sweeter, no use what I dilute my Ribena. So we toast to the good life. Every minute to the full, cause we could die. Pull up open doors and it's suicide. 16 bad, whoop, and they all by the poolside.
I like the way I'm feeling now. No come use your regrets, but my blues I'm written now. I like the way I'm feeling now. I'm all you got smart tea with the stress me, but right now I'm chilling now. I like the way I'm feeling now. No come use your regrets, but my blues I'm written now. My team will stress me, but right now I'm chilling now. Dead boys, enough dust, the make dance, enough dress, the gas flare, MC boys, the roll up, and the nice toys.
Vibes.
But you knew that. Feelings and nothing can stress me. The way I run the game, I'm feeling like referee. No, like Moses parting the Red Sea, like a chauffeur, me in the back of the Bentley. So I step out, all white, can't stain. What you want? Rosé, champagne? I got that. Big bag, back pain. Taking the piss, the only time I can't aim. So we toasted a good life, living every minute to the full, cause I could die. Pull up at the spot, open doors, and it's suicide. Chilling rent free, where the check please, couple hundred G's on a good night.
I like the way I'm feeling now. No come use your regrets, but my blues I'm written now. I like the way I'm feeling now. I'm all you got smart tea with the stress me, but right now I'm chilling now. I like the way I'm feeling now. No come use your regrets, but my blues I'm written now. I like the way I'm feeling now. I'm all you got smart tea with the stress me, but right now.
All I wanna do is jive. 220 on the highway. I'm about the energy. Baby, if it's good, send it my way. If it's bad, keep it private. All these haters so vexed, I'm the best alive. You don't want to test the guy. You been sleeping on yourselves, you test it fly. Throw myself a party, then act surprised. Be the highest in the room when the guests arrive, yeah. Ain't nobody realer. Touchdown, got a couple G's for the dealer. Gang signs out the window, my killer. Life getting sweeter, no use what I dilute my Ribena. So we toast to the good life. Every minute to the full, cause we could die. Pull up open doors and it's suicide. 16 bad, whoop, and they all by the poolside.
I like the way I'm feeling now. No come use your regrets, but my blues I'm written now. I like the way I'm feeling now. I'm all you got smart tea with the stress me, but right now I'm chilling now. I like the way I'm feeling now. No come use your regrets, but my blues I'm written now. I like the way I'm feeling now. I'm all you got smart tea with the stress me, but right now I'm chilling now. Dead boys, enough dust, the make dance. Lady, I dey call you once, baby. Me, I want to pump up. You today, give me chance, me, I no go use you play. Oh, no, no, no. I got body, joy, body tonight. And I wanna know if it's possible. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Time they go, make we go. Say I get you, it's a go. Back me for, back me yo. I'm not the player, I know be so. Make our body joy, body tonight. And I wanna know if it's possible, yeah. Wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Lady, I dey call you once, baby. Me, I want to pump up. You today, give me chance, me, I no go use you play. Oh, no, no, no. I got body, joy, body tonight. And I wanna know if it's possible. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Time they go, make we go. Say I get you, it's a go. Back me for, back me yo. I'm not the player, I know be so. Make our body joy, body tonight. And I wanna know if it's possible, yeah. Wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. body. I dey call you once, baby. Me I want to pamper you today. Give me chance, me I no go use you play. Oh no no no. I got body joy, body tonight. And I wanna know if it's possible. I wanna put my hands on your waist. Me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. I wanna put my hands on your waist. Me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Time they go, make we go. Say I get you, it's a go. Back me for, back me yo. I'm not the player, I know be so. Make our body joy, body tonight. And I wanna know if it's possible, yeah. Wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. I wanna put my hands on your waist, me have to give you all my paper, yeah. I'm addicted to you, and I don't know what to do. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me that you want me. Show me that you need me. Tell me that you love me, and I go there, okay. Show me, show me,
Hello. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Um, it's interesting, another beautiful day for us to have an interesting conversation. Um, we will be starting immediately, and we have our guest here already. But before we start, as usual, I would like to brief us on why we're doing this, just to let us know why we're doing this. Also, after that, I will then go ahead to introduce our guest by reading a bit of his profile so that we know who we are here to listen to. I'm sure some of us will have probably on Google and LinkedIn and all of that, but yeah, I'll still introduce him properly. And then after that, we'll go straight into what we have today, which our host will take us through the topic that we have today, which is building a resilient market response to the VUCA economy. For those of us who don't know VUCA, you can check Google, but I'm sure our host will also shed more light on that. And then after that, we'll go into the question and answer session where we can ask questions regarding the topic. And then that will be it for today. All right. So before we do that, before we continue, first of all, let me welcome Edward. Edward, welcome. Welcome to today's webinar. I think I
Thank
might have.
you.
You're welcome. All right. It's great to have you. All right. So I will just go straight and talk to us about why we are having this webinar and why it's important. This webinar idea came about when the pandemic hit, and we realized that a lot of small businesses took a hit for it. And not just small businesses, large businesses also. We know of airlines, international carriers that had to lay off thousands of staff. We know of other companies that had to lay off, tech companies that had to lay off staff. We know of companies that had to make it compulsory for staff to work from home and a lot of that. And then there are a lot of businesses that had to shut down operations as well because they couldn't keep up with all of the realities surrounding the pandemic. So we came up with this webinar to try to help as many people as possible, businesses, to help businesses figure out how they can survive post, during and post the pandemic, how they can revisit or improve on their business model to adjust to the current reality. We also started looking at how individuals, maybe those who have lost their job as a result of the pandemic, can begin to think of other alternatives. Are there small businesses they can start? Are there solutions that they can provide to problems around them? Are there things they can leverage, especially technology, to begin to sell product or services within their community? And this is why, essentially, why we're doing this, because we believe that if we don't solve this problem, it's going to be there will be a ripple effect on a number of people's livelihood, and that's why this is very important. So that's why we're doing this. All right, that being said, I'll jump straight into introducing our guest for today. Our guest for today is my very good friend, uh, Edward Enejoh. I'll read a bit of his profile. He has a really impressive profile, but I'll just go through it very quickly. First, I would like to say that Edward is one of Nigeria's best management consultant today. I've seen him in action a number of times, and I must say that when you hear this man speak, you'll be very impressed, right? So, and we have an opportunity to have him here today. So Edward is a certified management consultant, is an entrepreneur and a business strategist. He's also a brand marketer, trainer, and mentor. He has over a decade of experience. He has trained over 10,000 people, entrepreneurs, career people, and all of that. He has coached over 50 businesses in Nigeria. He was recently selected among the 2020 Tony Elumelu Foundation Mentors Guide, which I think is huge, right? For those of us who know Tony Elumelu, you know that Tony Elumelu has this, I think is whether $100 million or so that he has put together to use to fund certain businesses over 10 years, and they've been consistent with that program, right? I would then like to go to the part that talks about is him being an alumni member of the world's largest experiential learning platform for entrepreneurial leadership and social innovators called Enactus. A number of people know Enactus. It's a platform where he received training and carried out projects on entrepreneurship, leadership, and mentorship. He's a pioneer member of Leadpreneur, a network of leaders and entrepreneurs creating opportunities and raising new breed of entrepreneurs set out to build solutions for global impact. Edward is the vice president and communications and of vice president of communications and marketing for Leadpreneur. Now, he's also a member of the Chartered Institute of Human Capital Development of Nigeria and a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Management Consultants. Edward is licensed to practice in 40 member countries that are represented in the ICMCI. ICMCI is the International Council of Management Consultant Institutes, right? He is licensed to practice in 40 countries that include US, UK, Japan, Germany, India, China, Australia, South Africa, Nigeria, and the Netherlands. He's a faculty member of the GIZ Entrepreneurship Cycle Program, GT Bank Academy, Keystone Bank Academy, Afri Growth Academy, Data Lead Africa Academy, High Central Academy, Peak Foundation. He's the principal partner at Noble Era Consulting, host of Vantage Point and founder Rhinestone Investment Club and Startpreneur Inner Circle. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome my very good friend, Mr. Edward Enejoh. Edward, over to you now. I guess you would want to share your screen at some point. So.
Yeah, I'd like to share my screen. Thank you very much for for that introduction. For a minute, I felt like just sitting down to listen to who's talking.
We've had
Anyway,
this fight
I'm
before.
yeah, I am glad to be here, and I really look forward to an interesting time. I think the team at Ventoven is doing a very um, great work, and I want to thank the leadership for putting this program together because I believe that programs like this are what entrepreneurs need to key into right now. I remember during the lockdown, we had a session like this, myself and you, Mr. Otayemi. We had a great session talking about how technology is shaping the landscape. And anyway, I'm glad to be here. So I'm going to be talking about building a resilient marketing response to the VUCA economy. And they have talked extensively about me. So I'm Edward. I'm just a human being. I breathe air like every other person. Okay. Every expert was once an amateur. And the truth is that every new phase we get into is still the beginning of the next phase ahead of it. So I consider myself a lifelong learner. And one of the reasons that I'm able to do more is that I keep on learning more. So thank you very much. And I know that we're going to have a very, very great time, an interesting time. A little bit about Noble Hero Consulting. We're into strategy, brands, and learning. And simply put, most businesses struggle with crafting their strategy and communicate their product to their customers. So we help businesses build strategy and deploy brand marketing systems to enable them grow faster and attract customers. So simply put, that's what we do. So I want to say this: if you stay through to the end, I have a gift for you. It's a lecture I gave sometime called "Finding Hidden Opportunities in Plain Sight." And there are a lot of opportunities right now. So just stay to the end, okay? I'll show you how to get this. All right. So
Nice.
I'd like to start off with this quote by, thank you, thank you. I'd like to start off with this quote by Peter Drucker, who said that the danger in the times of turbulence is to act on yesterday's logic. And so in chaos like this, if we do what we've always done, we get what we've always gotten. What used to work before 2020, a couple of things like that no longer work because even the 10,000 hour rules have been crushed. And we can see that even in Nigeria here. Paystack recently just sold out. Okay, they didn't stay up to 7 or 10 years. That was less than 7 years. Okay, yes, I get it. A lot of work had been going into that process, but from that moment they launched, they didn't have to wait till 10,000 hours. So it's to tell you that what used to work, okay, has significantly changed. So what does COVID means, you know, to us right now? So chaos is where the best brands and marketers tend to shine out, and I'll show you why for a minute. So this US billionaire wealth surge during the pandemic. Now, the change in the wealth of the US billionaires since the beginning of the pandemic, between March 18th to June 17th, we saw that there was a growth, there was a surge. Okay, total billionaire wealth increased by 19.8% because they were doing something right. Now, this data is referring to that time, not now. Okay, Jeff Bezos saw an increase, 38%, 38.7% increase. Bill Gates saw an increase of 11.7% increase. Mark Zuckerberg saw a 58.6% increase. I mean, the list goes on and on. It means that in the midst of chaos, if you have solution, if you have value to offer the market, trust me, it might just be your game changer. So let's pay attention to the data. Let's pay attention to what is going on out there, how we can be part of the solution, and so that we can be on top of our game. We can ride on the winds of the turbulence if we know how to position ourselves right in the market. So I'm going to be talking about that briefly. So building a resilient market response in a VUCA economy. So we've been talking about VUCA, VUCA, VUCA. What is VUCA? All right. So it's an old US military acronym that helps bring a sense of stability to a business world that is continuously in a flux. So this acronym VUCA, it was first used in 1987, okay, to describe volatility, a market that is volatile, it is uncertain, it is complex, and is ambiguous. Okay, I go over that again. This is like a recipe for disaster, right? Volatile, it is uncertain, it is complex, and it is ambiguous. All right. Now, this is what we have seen as an after effect of the VUCA world in the business world, okay? Of VUCA in the business world. So, number one, driven by digital transformation, Internet of Things, AI, big data, cyber physical systems, okay? There's rapid disruption in traditional business model and emergence of completely new business models and opportunities. The same applies for management, okay? So we need to even reinvent our wheel, our business models rather. We need to reinvent how we do business. One other thing that is visible is that product and innovation life cycle get shorter. And that is good news for those who are in the market, those who consider themselves serial entrepreneurs. You can just go into this sector, you kill it, go to the next sector, you kill it, and all of that. And of course, there are other two things that are there is that number one, adaptability quotient will soon become the primary predictor of success. How can we rapidly adapt to the changing times? Instead of complaining and saying the market is this, they've banned Twitter, they have done this, they've done that. Some others are cashing out. There's a brand that is flooding the Nigerian market in terms of edutech. It's called Nextford, and recently they just got $10.8 million funding, okay, to do what they are doing. Now, some of people see them out there, and 10.8 million. You can look at that just between the last 3 or 4 days. It's on the public domain. Okay, million US dollars, not naira, US dollars. Okay, now you see them there, you think that they're just teaching people how to do stuff. No, they're making education affordable and accessible. Okay, and also there is a shortage of talent and the challenge to retain and engage talent, millennials, etc., all looking for a higher purpose in their work and life. So I was talking to somebody recently, a candidate, okay? I was employing for a client, and the client asked me to get somebody. I saw this person nice, so I was profiling the client, the candidate, and the candidate said that I would like to work 2 times a week. I was like, okay, that's like 3 months after the pandemic lockdown, and I was like, you couldn't have said this 5 months ago that you want to work from home. Who does that? But now the behavior of the market has changed because of this new reality. Okay, so we are in a VUCA state. And so very quickly, I want to talk about it from 3 dimensions, okay? The situation, the response, and the initiative that any entrepreneur can take that can help you bring about this new innovation. All right, so just stay with me. And you're going to love this. Like I said, this is one of the best sessions I had to put together. Yeah.
So before you continue,
I'd really
like to talk about this change in the workforce. I think it's a very big issue. I'd like us to spend maybe a few 1-2 minutes to just discuss it. I think it's actually causing
no problem. Great.
It has been disrupted from what we used to know. And it's causing a lot of issues between employee and employers. I also run a team myself. There's this new craze about remote working, no remote working, the number of hours people want to work in a week, where they want to work from. It now seems as though before now, employers used to dictate these terms. But it seems in this new dispensation, the employees are the ones dictating the terms. Why are we seeing that right now?
So I think whoever created the universe has asked everybody who's living here to play catch up, because the world is not supposed to be that complex. Like really, you can sit in your pajamas and just check your, with the username and password, just access your bank account, okay? With your username and password from any device, still work, okay? Because these events have shaped how we live our life, businesses and individuals must rapidly accept that this is a new reality, because trying to change it is like crying over spilled milk. It doesn't put back the milk in the cup. So we must accept this, and we must learn to relate even with our employees. Our employees are customers. They are first customers. They are inner customers in strategy. We call them inner customers. Okay. And so if your customers are saying this is how we want to be served, you can't force down the product on the customer. You must meet them where they are. You are meant to solve their problem. So if this is how they say they want to work, the question we should be asking ourselves is how can we use technology, okay, to aid working? Now there are tools out there. There is Asana that helps you to collaborate and work remotely. You can look at tasks. You can look at people doing their work and all of that. You can, I mean, they can log in and all of that. At the end of the week, it tells you a summary of what has been done. So it's not that I was working, I was not working. No, you can still track it. I know people who are out there in the oil and gas sector. They are working remotely. Somebody says since lockdown, I've been working from home.
Wow.
Okay, so this is the new normal. So if you are an entrepreneur and you have not started considering this new reality, then you want to be left behind. Okay, so let's really, really rethink our business model, and that's one of the things I want to talk about. We need to rethink our business model. If it's not working anymore, let's stop boiling the ocean. Let's try to do what will work. What is going to bring about the change that we anticipate? That's going to make our product viable. It's going to be sustainable for our organization as well. Otherwise, we'll go extinct like the dinosaur. All right. So that is one of the things I think we need to do about that.
I think from what you said now, one of the key things that I've picked there is that times have changed. Now we need to be really concerned about how to leverage technology to help boost productivity, so that even though people are working remotely, we are still able to see what they're doing and how productive they are, right? That's really important.
Very
All right,
true.
thank you very much for that. I think you can continue now.
Okay, so I've tried to just keep this all this conversation on one screen, but it's just going to be appearing one after the other. So I'm going to take it from the VUCA state first, just to define it. Okay, give some examples and all of that. So what is the situation? The situation is that it is volatile. Okay, the economy is volatile, so the environment demands you react quickly to ongoing changes, okay, that are unpredictable and out of your control. So before COVID, we still have situations that are volatile. But now we have them now. So even take away COVID, let's talk about Nigeria, for instance. There's insecurity, okay? It is a volatile state. Before you can travel, I'm just doing a road trip from here to Adamawa or to Bauchi, the Yankari Game Reserve and all of that. But now you're going for a road trip and you're scared. Somebody tweeted recently, said, how much to go from here to Zamfara? And somebody replied, you know, those sage tweet. And the person said, are you asking for the vehicle transportation price or for the ransom that you will have to pay if you are caught? Okay, so that, yeah, so you know, so it's uncertain. So it's but it's true. So it's uncertain, but this is our reality. This is our reality. So it's volatile. The environment demands that you act quickly. So as businesses, how do we respond? I'll talk about that briefly. So it's uncertain. The environment requires that you take action without certainty. For instance, you're in a business that has to do with a lot of Forex. And okay, I was talking with a client just 4 days ago in the real estate sector. And imagine that they had quoted for a building. Okay, this building is going to cost you 80 million US dollars or 80 million Nigerian naira. All right. But from that time till now, uncertainty has played in. We don't know how much the price of cement is going to be. The cost of some of your fittings and all of that has gone high because of dollar exchange rate. It is uncertain. So the question you're asking yourself is that, should I still should I just fold my hands and just close shop and go and stay? No, we must act. So we're going to talk about that also in the response section. Then it is complex. The environment is dynamic with many interdependencies. For instance, the fact that dollar exchange rate has increased, it has impacted some other things. So the cost of production has automatically increased. We can see in Nigeria, for instance, the cost of power has increased. If you're
The
running a
cost of
co-working
everything has
space
increased.
before, some people have even food has
Yeah.
increased. So
I
these
saw
things
a
are
video
things that makes
yesterday.
it
People were
complex.
cutting yam into smaller bits to sell. You know,
True. I saw the video myself.
it's a very serious issue. Wow.
So the environment is unfamiliar and it's outside of our expertise. Okay. The other thing that is closest to this is what they call the black swan. Like there is no form of forecast that you could have done to predict this kind of reality. Even if you were just given, say, $2 million, $5 million recently, and this thing happened, suddenly, it means that the money that was $2 million before has reduced because the cost of running that business has increased. Do you understand? So this VUCA is where we find ourselves right now. So how do we respond to this? So I've come up with this, that number one, vision. Okay, you have to revisit your vision. So all the things you hear about strategy, we make it sound so, so complex and robust and all of that. Strategy is about making choices. And you can only make a choice once you're able to see clear. All right, so you need to ask yourself tough questions. Is my business still viable? Is there demand for my service? Which sector has the money? Now, I'd like to revert this, and this is where people don't like me whenever I facilitate for entrepreneurs, all right? Because I tell them the truth. When you start business, they say, go with your passion and all of that. I say, hey, passion may not pay the bill, so keep that somewhere first. Is there a demand in the market? Okay? Is there a demand in the market? Can I meet that demand? Then I'm in business. So we must first of all ask ourselves and avoid that sunk cost bias. Sunk cost bias is the concept where, because you've invested so much in a business and you feel guilty, in closing the shop, not totally closing like giving up, but saying that I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole because I don't know where it's going to lead me to anymore. I can keep going down the hole and I'm losing money and I'm not making any progress. I'm not able to even pick my bills anymore. So we must ask ourselves tough questions. And I don't know, somebody who might be watching this right now, you really want to ask yourself, is your business still viable? That is something you want to ask yourself. So we were talking about Nextboard that just got some funding. Now, because tech is a catalyst for most businesses right now, if you're rethinking your business model and you're somewhere that the profit is going at, you increase by 5% in this month, next month it drops down, 3 months later you increase again by another 7%. It's like you're taking 3 steps forward and 4 steps backward. You want to ask yourself those tough questions. Is my business still viable? So you need to refocus. You need to find your focus. The first thing you want to do. Number two,
Focus on your
understanding.
focus.
Yeah, focus on your focus. Find your focus. Number two is understanding. Make it easy for the customer to buy. Create customer experiences. People remember how they feel, not not what they're buying. Oftentimes, you're a reader, Mr. Lola. Sometimes we even buy books because of the feeling like, oh my God, I'm buying this new knowledge. And the book might be just sitting on your shelf somewhere. You may buy. So it is how you
I found a
feel.
new
There are
hack
some
though.
books you
Maybe I'll
just
share
see,
with you
like for
after this.
somebody. Oh, interesting. I look forward to that. Okay, so understanding. Okay, so understand first. Make it easy for the customer to understand what you're even doing. What are you selling? Some of our marketing communication is so complex. We use some of those compound words. We use some of those things it makes it hazy for the customer to even understand you. Okay, marketing is very important because most people have migrated online. A lot of people are living online, whether Twitter ban or not. Some people have found a way to still ensure that the business still works. So communication is a very, very strong thing. Some people don't know how to write. You write, but it is not really communicating. It is stressing the mind of who is reading it. So I'll give you an instance. Some people think that communication is creative graphic design. You can just be decorating some things out there, but you're not selling. Okay. I give you two instances. Number one, a client
That's
said
true.
we're having a yeah, we're having a session with the client in terms of marketing. So the first pre-engagement, and the client said, "Hey, Ed, I know you guys are great and all of that, but number one, we don't want to say anything like Motivation Monday. Well, who are you motivating? What is it selling? Okay, we must justify the budget we're putting to marketing. By the end of 3 months, they're asking you, where's my return on investment? We had increase in followership, you have brand awareness, but the business owner is telling him that who, like we say in Nigeria, who he help? That how does this follower help me? How does this convert, and impact my bottom line? The reason most people are in business is to make profit. Every other thing is commentary. No matter how you say it, is to make profit so that we can pick bills and we can solve more problems. Okay, so if you're not making profit, then you cannot be in business. So how can you make profit? You must solve the customer's problem. How can you solve the customer's problem? You must be able to tell the customer that I have a solution. And how you say that matters a lot. That's the first instance. The second instance is this. Imagine, for instance, that there is a beautiful design with a lady, and there was, let me use the pharmaceuticals for this example. And there's a product, the pharmaceutical product there. And that's the first. So that's image A. Image B, you see just a caption. This medication will increase your life by 25 years. Get one here. They probably did not even put any image around it, just the text. Which would you go for? Which would you go for? So, I mean, 100%, 100 times, okay, out of another 100 times, most people will go for the one that says, this will make you live 25 years longer. More than the other design. Yeah, more than the design that is very beautiful. Okay, so most brands right now, we must learn to communicate. Copywriting oftentimes is even more important than being a creative designer. Sorry to the creative designers, I am one myself, but if you don't know how to communicate effectively, you might be losing. So you need to understand the market and how to communicate effectively. The third one will interest you. Collaboration is a lingua of this dispensation. We must collaborate, establish clarity through collaboration. So individually, we have what it takes to go around the world. But when we collaborate, the world will go around us. Collaboration is key. So how do I collaborate? Maybe with other partners who are out there, with other people who are doing something that are around my business. We must collaborate. The fourth one there is agility. So we overcome ambiguity, okay, through action, okay. Just a minute. We overcome this through action, all right? So we overcome ambiguity with action through agility. That's the word. So we must do this. So now there are some initiative we must take. This is the last part of it. Then we can discuss further, maybe answer more questions. So you want to first in a situation that is volatile, you've asked yourself, you're rethinking your vision. So to do this effectively, you have to do a review of the market. You need to ask yourself if you're selling what the market does not need. Okay. You need to niche down. You need to be remarkable. You need to rethink your business model. You can't be all things to all men. You have to be specific. So I'll give an instance. I was reading Seth Godin's book, This is Marketing, and he said something very phenomenal that you'd love this. He said, imagine for a minute, okay, there's a cup, all right, a cup of red paint, and you pour it in a swimming pool. That's in 3 minutes, the red paint or dye would have saturated would have spread into the swimming pool somewhere around 60 to 70% in 5 minutes. But the cup of red dye in an ocean, no impact. In fact, a wave would just come and wait and sweep it off, and it will be as though nothing happened.
Like nothing happened.
So nothing happened. And some of us are in business. Most entrepreneurs, you want to be everything. You're this, you're that, you're serving everybody. You're spread yourself thin across the market. Niching down will help you do this. An instance, so when you niche down, you'll be able to do more. Then rethinking your business model. What business are you really into? You need to ask yourself that. I don't think Nextfold is really into teaching people how to I mean, they're educating people and all of that. But what they are doing is hey, we're putting a system together so that people can fund us. Okay, we're building a community. I mean, we can go on and on around their business model because they have the database of some of the most intelligent people. That information alone, in the next how many years, is something that is very, 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 is gold mine. So let's not go into that because they have not asked us to talk about them significantly. So, but we want to do this. We want to rethink our business model. We want to niche down and want to look at the business model that will make us more profitable, as opposed to just being in the market, and playing for a while. If you have the potential to do 500 million and you're just in the market going and coming and you're doing just 20 million, you're selling yourself short. So we need to rethink our business model. Then benchmark global brands in terms of in a situation that is uncertain, that you have now gained understanding. To gain further understanding, if you want to drive this down to your own niche, is that, see, let's benchmark global brands, okay? Let's understand what is working. In terms of marketing, okay, you want to build sales funnel that converts. If you want to make it easy for customers to reach you, Russell Brunson says that you're a funnel away. So you need to build funnel that converts. With what happened with Twitter recently, the fact is that, let's even imagine for a minute that Facebook, something happened to them, or Instagram, something happened, like it happened some time ago. On Instagram, you couldn't post, the server was down, okay? So we couldn't communicate. So if your business was existing based on that, how would you reach your customer? It doesn't matter if you're selling cupcakes. You need a list of your clients. You need a client relation management system that enables you to reach them regardless of social media platform or not. So you need to build a list. It's very important. Once you've understood how to reach them so they can communicate to them more on new products that are coming, all right? Then in terms of collaboration, your initiative to collaborate with foreign partners in your industry, all right? You can reach out to people who are in your business industry. I mean, brands that are out there, somebody that has their office in Netherlands or in the US or in a European country or something, or in Canada, and say, we can be your African partners here. We do something in this industry as well. We have done X, Y, Z, and all of that. We want to collaborate.
This is $1 billion idea you just dropped, man.
Oh, yeah, I know. Whoever uses this, call me, please. I'll send you an invoice. So yeah, we want to collaborate with foreign partners in industry, and EduTech is seems to be doing a lot here. I'll tell you the truth. Before the lockdown, I was having a conversation with one institute. So I love the Peter Drucker model a lot. So there's this university, Peter Drucker, business masters in business administration, using his model and all of that. I had reached out to them. I was like, hey, we can be your African partner. Okay, we're having that conversation before COVID happened. And COVID now happened and everybody migrated online. Okay, but I consider myself a futurist. So I used to think ahead, and even the tool that I said I'm going to give you free of charge, I wrote it in 2019. And those conversations is talking about looking ahead and preparing for the opportunities that lies ahead. So collaboration is key. And lastly, agility in a situation that is ambiguous. You're responding through agility and action through agility rather. You want to be more about action. Like I say, more action, less talk. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, I talk about this a lot. Okay, we had said that adaptability quotient will soon become the primary predictor of success. How can you adapt quickly? Okay, there's a new policy. It doesn't mean that you're closing shop. No, how can we adapt? How can we respond? Okay, recently, Cristiano Ronaldo did something and it affected the bottom line of a global brand. All right.
Lost $4 billion in a day.
Yeah, in a day. And in marketing, some great brands have taken advantage of that. I'll tell you what happens. Some people said, this is what happened. Come and learn how to build your brand. I mean, there are two people whose brand are that powerful, Elon Musk and Cristiano Ronaldo. Before it was Elon Musk. Okay, Elon Musk had to. Is it Elon Musk or Richard Branson that closed down their marketing department. I think one of them closed their marketing department because they had doing a great job in terms of marketing. So marketing is very important. And when you become a global brand, what you say can affect another brand. We saw that also in the cryptocurrency space. When Elon Musk would just say something, all of a sudden, the value of a coin,
Bitcoin crashed.
would receive some impact. Whether, yeah, so that's the reality we find ourselves. But we want to take action. We want to adopt quickly, okay, to where we find ourselves right now. So these are the things I'll just talk about. I just want to talk about like generally in terms of how we can respond in a situation like this. If I'm to go over them, I'll say, number one, okay, you want to review your business model. Is it working? You want to look at the numbers. There are some sectors that are thriving right now. Technology is one of them. Agriculture is one of them. I can tell you for free, as an organization, we are relooking our business model. Consulting can take place across board. Strategy is required across board. I have a tech background, and we see how technology integrates into a lot of things. Education is something that has come to stay. Most people are learning from home. And somebody asked a question, it says, in the next 10 years, would we still need universities as we know them today? Okay. People are doing short courses. Entrepreneurship is not, it doesn't mean you must go to a school. Okay. I was reading something up recently, and the guy said, entrepreneur, first lesson, stop reading so many entrepreneurship books. It's not by reading those books that will make your business thrive. You must take action. You must iterate. Okay. So we must take actions very well. Very quickly, we must iterate, we must adapt, we must pivot, and we must, close shop if need be and enter a new market space. Okay. The second thing I'll talk about is like, hey, benchmark, make your product remarkable, sell an experience. We did this for a client. It was marketing a book like everybody else does, but we said, no, we want to create an experience. I don't have the image here. Instead of selling a book, we packaged it like a parcel. All right. There was a flask, there was a flash drive, there was a pen, there was another notepad. We're just packaged. And you're not buying a book for somebody, you're buying a gift for somebody. So we change the experience from reading the book to receiving a gift. And everybody likes feeling good by receiving a gift. So we increase sales using that alone. Okay. So we must look at our business model. We must rethink it. We must benchmark global brands that are working out there and find what can work here. There is something I call so it's like reverse engineering what works. Okay, you reverse engineer what has worked somewhere else. You bring it here and say, okay, how can we take that apart and make it work here? People are not buying sneakers anymore. They want to buy sneakers that has some Ankara fabric on it. That makes me feel like I'm African. People are buying a tracksuit that were made out of Ankara material. Okay, I was hearing somebody who is known in Nigeria. He went to the UK, and an Ankara material that you and I know here, a dress, was selling for $100. Okay.
Wow.
Is it $100 or $1,000? But because it was repackaged, okay, to meet the need of the market, and they're making more. I know somebody who's in the fish business, and he said, okay, we cannot just do fish and just say, okay, we're doing fish. He said, okay, let's smoke it. Let's not just smoke it. Let's increase. Let's ensure that the spice is unique. Let's ensure the packaging is good. This guy right now exports his fish. I know somebody who, yes, let's add value. I know someone again. I mean, I bought his product. Okay. I don't know what they call it in English. They call it kuli kuli Nigeria. Okay. This guy quickly has pepper in it. This guy quickly is awesome. And the guy, kuli kuli, yeah. and this guy is packaging it right now and sending it outside the country. Okay. The African Continental Free Trade Agreement is there. The implication of it is that if Nigeria does not do anything, Nigeria will become the dumping ground. Most people will bring their product into Nigeria, but what are we taking out there? We are asking this question and say, okay, what is the government doing? But the question we need to ask ourselves really is that, how am I positioning my business to meet global standard, so that I can export it from Nigeria to other African countries who have signed these particular agreements. Okay, so yes, collaboration, like I've said before, and we need to take more action, and let's talk. Let's adapt quickly, use technology where needed, and let's see how we can put our brand on the map. So I think that this just the things I would say. I'll leave
Mm.
the room now for questions and all of that. So thank you very much.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Edward. That's been very, very insightful. Um, so if you're watching this on our webinar platform, please you can drop your questions in the chat box, and Edward can answer them. But Edward, I have a few questions here for you already that I would like us to quickly look at and discuss.
Okay.
But thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. First of all, it's quite enlightening. All right. So before I start asking the question, okay, you said you have a free gift, but I want you to go back to your handle. Okay, your handle is here as well. So
Yeah.
if you're watching this, you can follow Edward on Instagram, or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is at Edward Enejoh. So please do that. I'm sure you thank me later for this. I'm very sure you will. All right. So yeah, Edward, before we continue, let's talk a bit about this gift that you want to give people. What's it about?
Okay. So in 2019, I was invited by my alma mater to give a presentation, and I titled it "Finding Hidden Opportunities in Plain Sight." With chaos comes more opportunity. While others are saying that things are not working and all of that, if we're able to silence the noise and look at this problem has created a new opportunity. If I can solve this problem, then I would be in business. Technology is one of those solutions. Okay. There's this thing called the SDGs, for instance, the Sustainable Development Goals. If you can solve a global problem, you can put yourself in the map. So for me as a person, I've selected at least 5 of them that I'm solving. And I think every individual should begin to think about this. Okay, whatever you're doing, I believe that there should be zero hunger. So I'm providing initiatives that align to that. And I'll tell you something very interesting. Again, this is another $1 billion idea. There are development sectors that have money, okay, that are tied to some of the solution, whether renewable energy, whether it has to do with technology, whether it has to do with agriculture, economic empowerment, or gender equality, or water, clean water, and sanitation. Why don't we develop initiative, whether it's tech-driven, whether it's just initiative that meets this need? Then we can be in business. There is one organization that has put somewhere how many billion US dollars that is dedicated for this alone. And so that's what I think we need to begin to think about, because the business model, it's not just being about I'm passionate and all of that. So in this particular guide, I talked about this. You know, there was this thing back in the days that the world will end in 2012. There was even a movie that was made to that regard, 2012. I don't know if you saw the movie. And
it did
the
end.
world physically did not end, but it's like it didn't end physically, but the world as we know it actually ended then. You would agree with me that there were some things that began to happen. So the dispensation in quote ended and another one started. There was no announcement that said that, hey guys, we're no longer in the stone age. We're now in social age. There was no announcement that said that we're no longer in the machine age. We are now in the technology age or something. And so there's no announcement that happens like that. COVID just happened because it happened to everybody. But the world had ended before COVID. It's just that COVID came to bring it to our awareness. Okay, I can talk about fintech, how mobile banking has come and is making people millionaires. Okay, so more problems, more opportunities, find them and make money. That's what I would just summarize it as. So you'll find this very
Great.
interesting in this guide. So you can just download it
So
for free.
if
Thank you.
you want that, you can go to his page. It's on his bio on Instagram. And you should follow him before you download it. So don't just go there to download the book. All right. All right. So a few questions quickly.
Sorry, thank
Our
you
time
very
is almost
much.
up, but let's see how much we can take. So you said something about
Okay.
people, really assessing their business, right? And one of the things that I've come to realize, when we're dealing with entrepreneurs
Yes.
and startup founders and generally, a lot of them are emotionally connected to their businesses, to that idea, and then they just don't want to let it go. They don't want to change it. And you mentioned something towards the end of your presentation where you said that sometimes people need to be ready to close shop, right? So, what advice would you give people on how
Yeah.
to handle those kind of situations? Because sometimes it's actually very difficult for entrepreneurs to close down. I have closed down a few of my businesses in the past, and every time I have to do that, um, it's not a very easy thing to do, even though I know it's the right thing to do at that time. However, I didn't realize that, and this is quite funny. I saw this from my experience, and I think I was having a conversation with one of my colleagues today that ties into this. That every time I closed a business that wasn't working so well, the moment I shut it down, I oftentimes get an idea for another business. And sometimes when I launch that one, it then works perfectly well. So, what would you advise on entrepreneurs on how to handle those kind of scenario situation?
So it's a very interesting question you have asked yourself. I was having a conversation with one of my senior friends, and he was telling me how at Silicon Valley they celebrate the death of a business. That hey, they go and pump champagne. That hey, the business has failed. Time to move on to something else. Because they understand that time you're putting in it. And even the investor,
Mm,
they're like, oh, we're happy that it didn't
mm,
work. Now we will know what will work. Okay,
mm,
and that person has more experience, at least who now knows how not to do certain things whenever launching another business. And oftentimes, like you said, some of those new ideas is going to be an integration of the previous idea with this new idea, and now you're able to navigate effectively and compress time. That's one of the things that he does. So if you're asking yourself, how do you do this? Number one is to first of all detach yourself from it and just step aside. This business is not mine. Let it go. Let all the
mm,
old late nights that you have put in it, all the contacts that you have built, or just let it go and step aside and look at it from an outsider point of view and say, okay, this has happened. I am advising somebody on this. And look at the number for what it is. Look at the numbers. Okay. Like I tell people that you're saying that I want change, and you've not changed how you go about what it is you're doing. You will not experience change. Some people are actually living 2020 in 2021 the same way again because they're not doing anything about it. All right. So, um, the thing is that, yeah, thank you. So the thing is that if you want to stop this, number one is to detach yourself emotionally from this particular idea that you have
mm,
emotionally and ask yourself, okay, what am I innately passionate about? One, what am I passionate about? Innately passionate about. You can read this guy's book on essentialism. It talks about it a lot. Number two
yeah.
is this: what am
This
I
pursuit of
talented
less.
in? Yes, pursuit of less. Less is more. Number three is this: what does the world need that they are willing to pay for? This is my product.
Mm,
Will they pay for it? If I'm going to spend, if I have $1,000 and I'm going to spend $800 to just build this product, how much would I sell it? How much are my competitors selling it out there? So would I break even?
mm,
Then you ask yourself this. I mean, being in this part of the country, that's why we need to collaborate a lot. The cost of running business is really high. So there are some business that may not thrive here because somebody in China, a
mm-hmm,
secondary school leaver, will produce it with less than half of the cost of running the business. And it will already be selling. Okay, so we must tell ourselves that truth. And number two is that oftentimes most businesses, the first one you start out with is not the main idea. I
mm-hmm,
can tell you for free, Amazon did not start up to be what it is. It wanted to be selling books. You think it's books he's selling? He's running a logistics
mm,
company.
mm-hmm,
People's product right now is trying to reconnect them. Then number two, another product. Amazon is making money as a digital landlord. Okay, he
mm,
has, I mean, they're into cloud, they're into a lot and all of that. But because he started, he began to see other businesses within that niche, and he was able to diversify within the same playing field. Okay, but because he was able to let go, he didn't hold on to the first idea. This is the idea. We must do this. This is where we die. No, we don't die here. Okay?
Mm.
We bury the idea when it's time to move on. Otherwise, you will not move on. You know, you just go extinct like the dinosaur. There is this saying that the dinosaur, they were eating things up and there was no longer food at the top. And because they didn't want to bend to eat the food on their foot, all right, or the shrubs that were down, they died
Mm.
in starvation. If they could only have just bent down and find the food
Mm.
at, the base, then they would still have been living. So let's learn from this, whether this story is true or not. Let's learn to adapt. Let's learn to adapt to change.
All right. Thank you very much, Edward.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you very much for that. That's very, very apt. This issue is a very big issue, and it's often difficult to convince entrepreneurs to make that transition, especially when they've invested a lot in their businesses. All right. The next question is: you mentioned something about focus, and I was having this conversation with somebody one day, and the guy told me he's Dangote focused, right? You know, that Dangote has cement, he's doing rice, he's doing salt, he's doing sugar. How do you tell me to be focused? So, can you talk more about that? What does focus really mean for an entrepreneur? Is focus really, is it necessary, or is it just a myth?
So I think that focus is not just a name. I think it's very key. It was Steve Jobs who said that they had to say no to a lot of things so that they could have said yes to the things that worked. Even as a business person, there are businesses that I've said no to. It might be really, really lucrative for others, but when I consider the time required to stabilize or to learn, to go through that gestation period. And I said, I've already built capacity in this base. I need to move on in this base. Focus is very key, and you can't be all things to all men. Dangote was able to succeed in one sector and had enough funding to be able to establish the business, got people from India, from China, from wherever to come and run it. Okay, it's not Dangote sitting on the driver's seat of all those businesses. No. All right. So it's not that he's not focused. And he looked at the numbers. We must understand this. Most businesses will just, because I see that my friends are doing this, blah, 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 or because I see a lot of logistic bike around Abuja, for instance, I say, okay, logistics is the new way to go. No, you must do the numbers. Let's see the economics, okay? Let's see the viability of the product. All right, this is a very critical. You go and meet an investor, you say, well, I have this idea. And they'll first of all ask you, can I see the numbers? Okay, let me see the numbers. And they know the numbers that is just, hey, this is just, you're just playing. You're just playing with numbers here. It's not real. I was speaking to somebody who is working in the sports industry. They're doing some nice work there. And they're revamping the sports industry. And the sports industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. He said that when they spoke to their international partners and they said that they have seen it, that it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. They said, we are ready to invest in Nigerian sports industry. And they said that if you had come to us that it's a multi-million-dollar industry, we wouldn't have invested because we know that you have not done the maths. That we, on our seat here, we have done the maths. Do you understand? So the numbers don't lie. Number one, okay, in focusing, you must understand that you must look and see that this is viable. All right. Number two, in focusing, when you're starting out, you're building the capacity to manage even yourself, to manage your team, to manage the resources, the pressure that it comes with. Okay, everybody has a number. I have a number. As a consultant, I have a number of projects I can take. Otherwise, I'm setting myself up for failure. Okay, it doesn't matter how much you want to pay. I'll say, no, we have reached the number. Let's deliver this first. And maybe when we deliver one, then we can add another one. Otherwise, we're setting ourselves up for failure. So we must learn to focus. They say focus is following one course until success. Until we have built our ability to record success consistently in one area, we have mastered it. I mean, best in world standard, not the best in your circle. No, best in world standard. Then you can now say, okay, I want to now, divert and, branch out and get another branch and all of that. Until we have that team that can go with us, that they see it like this is our own. Okay, it's not just one man calling us to, you co-create this product, all right? then you can now say, we want to branch out and do another one. But if you're still building capacity and you say you want to just spread your energy everywhere, you will not make impact. In physics, my first degree, all right, the concept of pressure is this, that if you want to make impact, you must narrow down the force in one direction. Okay. So we must learn to focus. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. So you also made, this is not a question, it's more of a comment. When you said something, and I think I would like to repeat it for those who missed it. You said something that solving the problem is not enough. You must communicate it well for people to be able to take advantage of that solution. And I think most people miss that part. You just want to create a solution, but you don't understand that the way you communicate that solution also matters. And it's one of the things that determines how people will take advantage of it. Yeah, next question. You
I
mentioned
took
something about the importance of collaboration and all of that, but then you want to say something, Edward?
Yeah. In terms of communication, I think it's very important. You see, there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there whose products are quite interesting, but they have failed in the aspect of communication. And even venture capital, when they want to invest, they will say, where's your marketing strategy? Because how do you tell the market that you have a product? And so they are not doing enough marketing. And so the market does not know about the product. They have not seen how the product is a solution to their problem. Okay. And so they are not engaging the particular product, or the marketing is poorly crafted. And I think every entrepreneur needs to read the book Story Brand, because it tells you how to simplify your marketing. Okay, buy this product so that you would get this result. Okay, it solved this problem. We have a marketing agency here called Market Hub. We say we make all your marketing problems go away. If I say it like that, you understand. People know that our marketing is big deal. I don't like talking to people, blah blah. But we'll make all your marketing problem go away. You make it go away. They know that is a problem. They know they have a problem, and we're making a promise. We'll make it go away. Would help you increase your sales, okay, by so percent. So it has to be clear. Your marketing has to be clear. So yes, I agree with you. You're talking about collaboration. I'd like to hear that.
Yes. So, you mentioned something that is important to collaborate, and I am of the opinion that the world we are in now is a collaborate or die world, right? You either
Yes.
collaborate or you go extinct. It's no longer, competition is no longer the key. However, there is a bit of a challenge there, which is the fact that even if you want to collaborate, you can't collaborate with yourself. You have to collaborate with someone else.
True.
But it still seems like a large percentage of businesses in the business terrain are still have that competition mindset. So how do you undo that? How do we thrive within that kind of system? We also understand that it's important. The ecosystem effect helps with collaboration. If you understand that this is an ecosystem, I am good at this, you are good at this. But it still seems there's a knowledge gap in that regard, and people are not willing to collaborate. How does one navigate that kind of situation? Hello, Edward. It seems we've lost Edward. Um, Edward, are you there? Hello. Uh-oh. I think we might have lost Edward. All right. While we wait for Edward to join us, Edward just dropped off the call. I hope he's able to join back as soon as possible. But while we wait for Edward to join us, just to just go again over some of the things that we've discussed. We've talked about the fact that it is important that you understand when your business is doing well or not, and to be able to make the important decision when you need to, and not be emotionally attached to that idea, because there's every chance that until you shut down that idea that is not working. You will not have the bandwidth to be able to work on the one that should work. And then Edward has recommended a few books. One of the books he recommended is Essentialism, which is, we talked about the disciplined pursuit of less. Yeah, this was one book that I read a few years ago, and it really helped me. One of the core lessons from the book is that if you really want to make significant progress, you need to be disciplined enough not to pursue too many things at the same time, and be deliberate with the kind of things you expend your resources on. Resources include your time, money, and energy, and even your mental space, right? Because once you get all of that clogged with something, it's difficult for you to use the same on other things. And then you mentioned another book titled Story Brand. And I believe I haven't read that book. I believe that that's a book that would really, that would talk about how to use storytelling, to sell your brand. And interestingly, we had a session sometime back on storytelling. And I think maybe it might be a good time to bring that back. We on that in that episode, we had a friend of mine, Olamide Johnson, and he took us through the journey of storytelling, especially for small businesses. And I think that's very important. Okay, Edward just reached out to me. He's having issues. He's having network issues. Let me see if I can get him back into the room. This is one of the challenges we're facing in Nigeria at the moment. The internet connectivity is still a big challenge. All right, while we wait for Edward, I would like to also stress a point that Edward made, which is more action, less talk. And this is one issue that we have seen, especially in the startup ecosystem, where a lot of startup founders, startup entrepreneurs have these very fantastic ideas, and all they do is talk, and they don't take any action towards it. And it's something that also affects people in their personal lives. I wrote an article ago, and I said that most times people are more focused on activity instead of productivity. So activity is, we're doing this, we're doing that, and then a lot of people are so engaged in activity and it's not translating to anything significant. And the analogy I use is simple. Say you want to move a heavy block from point A to point B. It doesn't matter if you sweat, if your back is paining you, if your head aches you. If at the end of the day you don't move that block from point A to point B, all of that effort is literally wasted. So it's important that we understand this, and if we are able to put this into better use, it will help us significantly. We have other questions that people have dropped in the chat box, but let me see if Edward is here now, so we can bring him so he can answer the questions for us. Internet connectivity is a big issue. All right, let me see if I can make an attempt to answer the question. The question here says, where is the place of collaboration? Can that be an advantage, as there seems to be so many mushroom companies? And how does one maintain advantage when collaboration occurs of vision, idea, etc.? All right, I think one of the things that I've learned with collaboration is that it helps you to pull resources together. And most times you ideally should collaborate with people or organizations that complement you. So for example, there's an analogy that I like to use. This I got from my time in Lagos. I spent a few years in Lagos. And I think I started doing real business in Lagos, right? One of the things that we noticed then was, in the afternoon, we had this lady who who comes around, who sells our going to us in my office complex at that time. And every time this woman comes with ewa going, it's beans, right? It's these beans that they cook in a certain way, with a certain kind of sauce. It's really, really nice. Really nice. You should try it out. So when this ewa going lady is coming, she's always accompanied with this little girl, not so little, but this maybe a teenager. I think she would have been in a teenage years at that time, that sells bread. But then I used to think that was like her daughter or something. But over time, I got into a conversation with the girl because I was wondering why the girl wasn't in school and all of that. I thought maybe she was doing, and this is our own business, right? And then one of our conversations said she just follows this woman because every time she follows her, she sells her bread off. Why? Because when people buy beans, we're going best with agege bread, right? So every time you see the we're going lady, you see her with the agege bread girl. The people who want to buy we're going automatically will buy the bread. And if you want to buy bread as well, you just say, oh, the bread goes well with the we're going. And then because of that collaboration, both of their businesses are able to thrive. So every day they always sell out. But the days that they go out alone, they struggle because there's nothing that complements, there's no complementary product anymore to help drive their sales. And that's one thing we need to put into consideration when we're seeking collaboration. Who or what is that business that complements what you're trying to do to further give more value, add more value to what you're trying to sell to your customers or to your users? And that's one of the things that we need to look at when we're seeking collaboration. Edward is back, is joining us again now. Edward, you're welcome back. We lost you for a bit.
Yeah. Thank you. Glad to be back.
All right, our time is fast spent, so let's just take one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the question around business model. You wrote something. You said something. You said that most entrepreneurs need to look into their business model. Do they really have a business? And it's funny because we interact with a lot of entrepreneurs, and I've come to the realization that a lot of entrepreneurs don't even know what business model is, and they don't care about business model. They just have an idea and they just want to take it to market. What more light on that? Why is it important for you to understand your business model, short, mid, and long term?
I think it's very, very key to really understand your business model, because you need to know if you're making profits. If you're not making profit, then you're not in business. You may be solving a problem, you're doing it because of passion and all of that. But you must understand, where is the money coming from? What are you really, really selling? Okay. And how are you solving the problem of the market? Your business model helps you to understand it. Sometimes your business would even grow, okay, from what you were doing, because you were revisiting your business model. All right. There are different models we use in this. The blue ocean strategy, for instance, when I teach strategy, I teach it from an experiential point of view, because again, I understand that the market has to understand it from an experiential point of view. So what are you reducing? What are you creating? What are you eliminating? What are you improving upon? Okay, those 4 questions you ask yourself, like, okay, what do we need to eliminate? That's what Apple, the Steve Jobs, they asked themselves, what are we doing in terms. In fact, all the Marvel comics movies we watch, they were the comics. The same storyline, okay, characters, they were converted because technology had moved beyond just drawing. We needed to see them in motion graphics, no longer cartoons. Let's act them. We have the technology to act them. Okay, make it look real. They're destroying a building, or the whole thing is moving. The galaxy is coming together. We have new technology. So they now, the same solution took it to another level. Okay, a business model helps you to reinvent your products. A business model helps you to identify where your revenue streams are. A business model helps you to know if your business is viable or not. And that's why you need the strategies to help you look at the business. Okay. Somebody who's not feeling well cannot just tell himself that, oh, I'm having headache, or my knee joint is paining me, I'll go and take anti-malaria. Okay. No, you need somebody who's an expert to help you look at it. So and even the people who celebrate, the Dangotes, the Tony Elumelus, the people who are really big out there, they have these people who also look at the business from an expert point of view. So we can look at it from different dimensions and look at what this business can now create. Okay. The first version of Windows, oh my God, it will look like brick game if you look at it right now in our time. But because they kept on reinventing, kept on iterating, look at the business model, look at where they can also explore. And today we have Azure. Okay. Azure. I don't know how to pronounce that their word. Okay. We have all of those things that have now came out of the first version of the product, trying to meet a need. The first consulting academy I worked with, okay, I was in the public sector arm of the business. And one of the things we looked at, I was with the lead consultant, and we were reviewing the business. He said, Eddie, we were just doing it as a consulting, but we're doing consulting as it used to be, that we should have just tweaked it to make it look as though we're a development sector organization that would have made more money. Okay. So that's how we need to operate, even in doing business. We need to operate and look at these things. A graphic designer is not a graphic designer. If you can say, okay, this graphic is to solve a problem for book publishing industry, you become a publisher. Okay. I know some people who have done that. They have revisited their business model. That's Warital, for instance. They are publishing books, but the guy started as a graphic designer. Okay. But graphic design is now publishing books for people outside the country. So this again is how you need to look at your business and say, okay, how can I be better positioned to serve the global economy? Again, telling yourself that you want to be best in world in your industry, not just anybody doing business. No, how can I be best in world? Who is doing it out there that is doing it well? What elements can I bring in from their own model into mine, based on my economic environment, based on the consumer behavior, based on this reality? How can I reinvent my business to be able to meet the need of the market? All right. So these are the questions we must ask ourselves for us to develop product that will meet the need of the market.
Thank you very, very much for that, Edward. And thank you very much for your time today. We need to wrap this up now because our time is fast spent.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Joined us, and we hope that you've learned something. Please, if you're on Instagram, please follow Edward. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Sorry, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All right, Edward. Thank you. I thank everyone. We will see you again.
Thank you very much.
Next month.
Sure.
Bye.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah.